Mr. Nixon, because of the recent widespread demonstrations and disruptions on American campuses, there seems to be quite a bit of public pressure now on campus administrators to get tough and to crack down on the student rebels. What is your view in general on the role of dissent in society, and in particular, the role of dissent on the college campus?
I'm for it. I'm for dissent because as I look back over the 190-year history of this country, as I'm sure you have as a student at Ann Arbor, I find that dissent is the great instrument of change. It's the instrument of progress. And that's what really distinguishes a free society from the totalitarian societies. We change those things by reason of the dissent that are wrong. We aren't frozen into them. On the other hand, when we look at dissent, we have to recognize that it can also be an instrument of destruction if it does not follow a certain rule that we should all understand, provided we look at our American political system. Now, I've talked in a number of university campuses, and I've had some university and college students say, when I point out that I think that there should be peaceful dissent and not breaking the law, they said, well, don't you believe in the American Revolution? And I said, I certainly do. But I point out that those who participated in the American Revolution had no peaceful way to redress their grievances. They had to have a revolution in order to do it. And then our founding fathers had the genius to set up a system of government which provides a method for peaceful change. Only once in the history of our country, 100 years ago in the Civil War, did that not work. And then we had to resort to warfare in order to resolve the differences. But when you have a system that provides a peaceful method in which to change what we don't like, I don't believe there's any cause that justifies breaking the law or engaging in violence. And I think we should get that across to all Americans. I believe it's essential to get that across, particularly in the college campuses, because those who come from the colleges and the universities are going to be the thought leaders in the future. They have to go back to their communities, and they have to make clear that while we believe in vigorous dissent, that on the other hand, that when we engage in violence, when we break the law, we destroy, in effect, the very system that we're attempting to build. And I think as we look at our college, universities, and campuses today, the great majority of students would support the proposition that I've just set forth. And I would say further, I noticed just yesterday in the paper, today in the paper, of a rather violent demonstration in Seattle, Washington, conducted by some of the students, I understand, from the universities in that area against Hubert Humphrey. I think that was an appalling situation. Some of those students demonstrated against me, too. That's something different. I will have to take it. But for the Vice President of the United States to be submitted to that kind of what was really not dissent, but an attempt to shout down the meeting, I say that is the difference. Let me put it this way. If anybody in an audience wants to get up and raise a question, if he wants to heckle in the great American or British tradition, that's one thing. But when he shouts and shouts and shouts and tries to deny to the majority the right to listen, then I think you ought to stop it, and stop it as effectively and fairly as you can. That's what I think.